Hi, my name's Riz, welcome to my channel. Sorry it's been a while since I last uploaded. I've been pretty busy and lazy as well, mainly lazy. I guess the only exception to my lack of uploads would be the Didcot Tower or Didcot Power Station demolition last week.
Hey!
That's cool.
Look at all the birds!
So in this video I am going to go through a quick rundown of the changes that I've made to the Goodman I magazine, and also I'm just going to develop some of the pictures that I've taken over the last couple of months. I really haven't been very focused on all that kind of stuff. So yeah, going to do that, and that's about it, I think. Okay, so this is my redesigned magazine. A few changes that have been made from the original version, mostly just fastening. So there's a screw up here now, there's 2 screws on the side, and there's 2 screws at the bottom as well. It's just so that what I found was happening, once I'd done the light sealing on my last version, it worked fine, except for when I was cranking or winding the film to the next position, because it would put stress on the whole chassis and cause little cracks to appear, you know, where the different parts meet. So this should have eliminated that. I've just taken the last exposure on here. It's probably been about 6 weeks since my previous lot of shooting. But yeah, they're all test shots anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I've just been really lazy. So anyway, I'm going to wind this the whole way, and then I'll start developing. So that's all the way. And that means, okay, so it's safe to do this. The tab didn't. I need an Allen key. I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Right, Allen key is here. So let's unscrew that. These ones probably have to come out the whole way. So now we can pop the top off, pop the front off. You can see all the separate parts. Just gotta lick it. This should actually be attached already, but it looks like it tore off. Okay, so that's sealed. So that's ready. I will develop that shortly. so I've painted it all black. This is to eliminate any light leaks from any potential cracks in the print, although I'm not sure there are any in this one. The original file for the film cover was printed in plastic, obviously, but it let a load of light in. If you left a film in front of it and it was left out to the elements, you could see like a streaking across the film where it had already let some light in. So I made this out of a piece of sheet stainless steel, covered one side of it in black cardboard, or black card. So that's that. On this I've put this fabric electrical tape that's used for automotive stuff all over the place, just to try and seal as much as possible. So all across the front, and also on this side I have made a little ridge. You probably won't be able to make this out. There's a little ridge on the top and the bottom just to hold the film as flat as possible. And then this is pretty much unchanged, this back piece, except for the fact that there's a couple of slots or holes for some screws and on the bottom as well. So that's that. And also I've put some tape along the inside here as well. With this, it's not the stickiest stuff in the world, so I actually put a little bit of super glue underneath it first and then laid it down. That's why it's a little bit white in places. Now this, I think I've mentioned this crank before. The original one is 3D printed and it's a little just a little knob.
That's what she said!
And I found, at least with the Ilford film that I've been using, it had a tendency to break and it was really hard to turn. So this seems to do a really good job, gives you all the leverage you need. It's made out of brass. I appreciate that not everyone has a lathe at their disposal, but I do, so I thought I'd make something that doesn't break. And then on this side, on the sides, I've just put the little attachments, or the little extensions for the screws that fasten the top to the rest of the magazine, and another screw there just for good measure. So yeah, they're all the parts, and I am hoping that'll fix my light leak issues. So next, I'm going to prep the film for development. So, to develop your film, you'll need the following. Obviously, a roll of film that has been exposed. You'll need a dev tank, which consists of a central column. They usually come with 2 film holders. For this, because it's medium format, we'll be using this one and setting it to this width. There's also a little collar that just holds everything in place. And then the lid, so this seals onto here, and then this sits in the middle. You can use this to actually turn and agitate the cylinder on the inside, and then this lid, which makes it pretty much watertight. Not quite, but watertight enough. So, another thing that you're going to need, if you don't have a darkroom, which, let's face it, most of us don't, let's put this all here for now. Is a changing bag. I think they call it a changing bag. Something like that. Essentially it's a double-walled black bag with 2 armholes on the top for you to put your arms in, and a zip at the bottom. Just stops any light from getting in. So what we want to do is just chuck that and all of that in the bag. And then the tricky bit, well, is what comes next. So I won't bore you with that. But essentially you have to do it all blind, which is basically the same as you would be doing in a dark room anyway. So
Eventually.
using today is the Ulfosol 3. I'm using the sachet version because I bought a couple of the bigger bottles that you can use multiple times, and because I don't develop that much film, they tend to go off quite quickly. So I figured it works out more expensive, but theoretically I'm wasting half a bottle every time I buy one. So in the long run, it is probably a bit more cost effective to use these sachets. So you can get a pack of 5 from Ilford's website, and yeah, it's the same stuff, just in a nice little sachet that shouldn't go out of date so easily. Yeah, so I followed the instructions on the back in terms of dilution and stuff. This says 1 to 9 or 9 to 1 in terms of water to sachet or solution ratio. I was a little bit skeptical, and rightly so. Basically, there wasn't enough solution in the tank, but because you can't see anything, you don't know until the film has come out. So it's drying at the moment. Next to me, there we go. But I don't know if you can make this out, but you can tell there's like a distinct line in the solution. It goes all the way across the film, which is a clear sign that 600ml isn't enough for 120 film. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to try to save in Photoshop, but in the past when I've tried doing this, it hasn't worked very well. So the main purpose of today is just to check whether I fixed the light leak issues. So from looking, I haven't actually scanned these in obviously, but from looking, they look pretty good. So yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, once it's dry, I'll cut them up, I'll scan them in the computer, and we'll go through it. Alright, without meaning to have wasted anybody's time, I kind of gave up on the DIY magazine part of the project. I spent a lot of time, money on wasted film and just effort generally. It kind of like drained me a little bit, and I just lost the interest. I got some results, not great ones, but I think, long story short, the magazine's quite a complicated part of the build, and you should probably just get one that's pre-made, one that, a Mamiya back, I don't know, for a 645 or, I don't know, whatever. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, and just make an adapter plate for it and use that. At the end of the day, I like making things and stuff, but this is kind of really distracted from the goal of this. The whole point in this was for me to be able to make medium format photos and experiment with that medium. And I haven't really done that much, so yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to make an adapter plate. I think there's a few adapter plates already available for it anyway, so yeah, buy an actual magazine and go from there. That's about it. I was going to go through a whole montage of new parts, new building bits and things like that, going out taking more photos, and I couldn't be bothered. We're now about 6 months after the previous part of this video, and I haven't picked up that camera. I've tried forcing myself almost, but kind of just lost interest. So that's the long and short of it. And yeah, hopefully the next update on this will be just me taking pictures of it with an adapter plate. I still think the project's really cool, but there's just too many difficulties when dealing with film and, well, just light getting into the structure. That it just ruins the pictures. So yeah, sorry. I know I feel a little bit deflated whilst recording this, so I do apologise. Hopefully I'll be back at some point in the new year with an update, with a brand new back and no screwing around with 3D printed parts and light sealing and all of that stuff. I just want to get out there and use the camera. So sorry for the anticlimax. Yeah. Goodbye for now, and see you in the new year.